I guess you have written your answers. Some of you said yes, some of you said no. In the past, most of the time, students, 90% of the time, students do say, yes, it made a sound because they heard the sound just now as the marker fell to the floor. They try to prove their point by saying, through my past experience, I know that when a hard object, collides with another hard object, there's always a bang, there's always a sound. Good point. Some of you, on the other hand, or few of you might have said no. Well, if you were to look at in two ways, in two ways. Here's a word play over here. If there was no one to hear, remember I said the word, if there was no one to hear, does it make a sound? Okay, sound is in the hearing. Okay, so that could be a trick question, yes. So sound is actually in the hearing. When there is an ear, there is a sound. If there is no ear, there is no sound. You know that. Imagine the people who are deaf. Deaf people out there. To them, the whole universe is pin drop silent. Think about it. Do they know what is sound? Can they define what is sound? Can they define the different types of sound that we hear through our ears? Those who are deaf, do they know what is sound? So if there was no one present there, if there was no ear present in that spot where the tree came down or where the marker fell on the floor, if there was no one to hear it, did it actually make a sound? Because sound is only registered in the ear. Now, the other scientific explanation to that would be, what creates a sound? Now, there are three things that are needed for the sound to happen. Number one, you need a source, where the sound is made. All right, the tree that came down could have made a sound. The marker that fell on the floor could have made a sound. But number two, you need a medium, something for the sound to travel through, a medium. Okay? Sound does not travel in vacuum, you know that. Sound travels in the air, even better in the water. Okay? And number three, you need a receiver, something to detect the sound. Now, it can be the human ear that can detect a sound, or it could be like a microphone that I have, that detects the sound. So you need these three things for a sound to happen. If any one of these is absent, you can't call it a sound anymore. Yes, the tree came down and it created a sound wave. Did you follow that? When the tree came down, it created a sound wave. But if the wave did not get into a receiver, into an ear, it was just a wave that vanished into the universe, into the air. But only when there is an ear, that sound wave finally makes it into a sound, an audible sound. If not, it just remains a frequency. A sound frequency. All right? But it is not audible. So, the answer actually is both ways if you want to do a wordplay. And from a scientific point of view, it did not create a sound. If there was no one there, it did not create a sound. Yes, even if there was an animal present, maybe a dog was there, maybe a cat was there, maybe a wolf at night was walking or, lingering around, and the tree came down. Yes, it made a sound in the wolf's ear. No doubt. Yes, that's true. But as I said, if there was no one present there, not even animals, no one was there, did it make a sound? No. if there was no ear to register, if no one kept a microphone hidden somewhere there, if there was no CCTV there, all right, with a microphone on it, it did not capture any sound. Then there was no sound. Okay? Now, why am I talking about this to begin the school year with? I want you to understand a few things, and that is, how do we know what is real? What is real around us? How do we know? Usually, most of the time, we base it on our 5 senses. All right? The 5 senses that we have. We base it on the 5 senses. What are they? Hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, and of course, touch. All right? So these are the 5 senses that we have through which we can define what is real. All right? For example, how do I know that this is black color? I know it's black color. How do I know it? Because I can see it through my eyes. It's black. I also know that it is hard and it is made of plastic. How did I know that? It's by feeling it, touching. So I was able to know a little more about this object because of my touch sensation and my vision through my eyes. Imagine if both of those were absent in myself. If I didn't have the feeling of touch and vision, okay, it will be very difficult for me to define what I'm touching, how does it look, how does it feel, the color and all that. So similarly, with food, how do you know that this food is very tasty, very yummy? All right, you go and you tell your friends, hey, try this. This is so sweet. This mango is yummy. This orange is yummy. All right, or this food is so yummy. I love it. How do you know it? Because you have tasted it. People who do not have the taste sensation, to them eating that, they don't enjoy that. Okay, similarly with smell. Wow, this perfume is so good. You go to a perfume shop and you try so many varieties of smell, the scent. All right, when you go to Victoria's Secret and you see all those different perfumes and you want to smell them. Which scent is the best that you want to buy it and take it home? You all depend upon your nose. Based on your nose, you make the decision. See that? Again, it's a part of your 5 senses. Okay, so you hear a music, all right, you love the music because you have an ear to enjoy that music. Or if somebody is screaming at you, you know that person is mad because you can hear the coarse voice, the sound that is coming out. You know that person is mad, he's angry at you because you can hear it. You know what's going on. Imagine if all of our senses were somehow impaired. What would happen? How would we define what is real? How do you define color red to a born blind person? Think about it. A person who's born blind, you tell him that this is blood. It's color red. Red? What is red? You can't say, oh, it's the color of the blood. Yeah, but I can see it. How is it different from purple or green or blue? They have no clue. People who are born blind have no clue about color. Think about it for a while. Yeah, they may know what is black. You may say, what you're seeing right now, that's black. That's darkness. All right? We do not know actually what do blind people see. But anyways, my point here is, how do we define what is real? It's through our 5 senses. If any of our 5 senses were impaired, were not functioning to the level, our reality would change the way we would define reality. From my perspective, imagine someone else who has a perfect vision versus me who I do not have a perfect vision. In fact, my eyes are really, really bad. Without it, I can't really see anything. If I go out with that person, both of us, me without my eyeglasses, and him, of course, he doesn't wear an eyeglass. How would he define what he sees in front, and how would I define? I will say all I see is blur. I see fogginess and blurriness. And he would be able to define every little detail that he can see. And for me, nothing but blur. Imagine that. So, we define what is real through our 5 senses. All right? Now, here goes some of the questions that I have for you. Based on that, okay, do you think our 5 senses are good enough to explore the truth or reality? Why or why not? Do you think our 5 senses are good enough to know the truth around us? Number 2, what are the dangers of relying only on our senses to find the truth? Number 2, what are the dangers of relying only on our senses to find the truth? So here are the 2 questions. Let me just pose that to you now. Give me your answer. Tell me what you think. Give me in about 50 words for each, 100 words for both of them. Write it in Google Classroom and send that to me. That's all for today. I don't want to take much of your time. All right? So just give me those 2 answers there. Have fun. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow.